constipation may actually be associated with increased risk of hypertension and cardiovascular disease.
The human body is a remarkable machine, but what happens when its natural processes turn deadly? Sometimes, something as simple as going to the bathroom becomes a life-threatening event. Straining on the toilet has claimed more lives than you might imagine, from celebrities to everyday people. It sounds almost absurd until you understand the science behind it. This isn't just about embarrassing deaths, it's about a real medical phenomenon that continues to catch people off guard. When you strain during a bowel movement, you're essentially performing what doctors call the Valsalva maneuver. You're holding your breath and bearing down, which creates pressure in your chest and abdomen. This isn't inherently dangerous for most people, but here's where things get complicated. That pressure affects blood flow throughout your body in ways you probably never considered. During straining, the pressure in your chest cavity increases dramatically. This compresses the major blood vessels, returning blood to your heart, which means less blood flows back. Your heart then pumps out less blood with each beat. Blood pressure can spike temporarily, then drop suddenly when you release the strain. For someone with underlying heart conditions or weakened blood vessels, this roller coaster effect can trigger catastrophic events. The vagus nerve, which runs from your brain down through your chest and abdomen, gets stimulated during this process. When activated by straining, it can slow your heart rate dramatically, sometimes too dramatically. In extreme cases, this combination of reduced blood flow and slowed heart rate can cause fainting, heart attacks, strokes, or ruptured blood vessels. It's a perfect storm of cardiovascular stress happening in the most undignified location imaginable. Elvis Presley's death in 1977 remains one of the most famous toilet-related fatalities. Found unresponsive in his bathroom at Graceland, the king of rock and roll had been struggling with severe constipation, a side effect of his prescription drug use. While multiple factors contributed to his death, the straining associated with his bathroom difficulties likely played a significant role in the fatal cardiac event that claimed him at just 42 years old. Judy Garland, another entertainment icon, died in 1969 from what was ruled an accidental barbiturate overdose. However, she was found on her bathroom floor, and some medical experts have suggested that straining combined with the drugs in her system may have contributed to her final moments. The bathroom setting in celebrity deaths appears more frequently than most people realize. Catherine the Great of Russia, contrary to popular myth, didn't die on the toilet, but she did suffer a fatal stroke after using the bathroom. Historical records indicate she collapsed shortly after returning from her chamber pot in 1796. The exertion likely triggered the stroke that killed her hours later at age 67. Don Simpson, the Hollywood producer behind Top Gun and Beverly Hills Cop, died in 1996 at age 52. While cocaine and other drugs were found in his system, he was discovered in his bathroom. Medical examiners noted that the combination of drug use and straining during a bowel movement likely triggered the fatal heart attack. These aren't isolated incidents. Emergency rooms regularly see patients who fainted or injured themselves while straining on the toilet. Most survive, but those cases rarely make headlines. Not everyone faces equal danger from bathroom straining. People with cardiovascular disease sit at the highest risk. If you already have coronary artery disease, previous heart attacks, arrhythmias, or heart failure, the stress of straining can push an already compromised system over the edge. Your heart is working harder during normal times, and adding the Valsalva maneuver creates demands it might not be able to meet. High blood pressure increases vulnerability significantly. When you strain, your already elevated blood pressure can spike dangerously high, potentially rupturing weakened blood vessels in the brain, causing hemorrhagic strokes. The sudden pressure changes can also damage the heart muscle itself. Chronic constipation sufferers face elevated risk simply because they strain more frequently and more intensely. When bowel movements become difficult, people tend to push harder and hold their breath longer, amplifying all the dangerous physiological effects we've discussed. Elderly individuals are particularly vulnerable, even without diagnosed conditions. Blood vessels become less elastic with age, the heart muscle weakens, and many older adults have undiagnosed cardiovascular issues. The bathroom can become genuinely dangerous territory for this population. Interestingly, young, seemingly healthy people aren't completely immune. Undiagnosed heart conditions, congenital weaknesses in blood vessels, and even extreme straining in someone with a nasty case of constipation can occasionally produce tragic results. It's rare, but it happens. Constipation is the common denominator in most toilet-related deaths. When stool becomes hard and difficult to pass, people instinctively strain harder and longer. This turns an ordinary bathroom visit into a cardiovascular stress test. Chronic constipation affects somewhere between 15 to 20% of the population, meaning millions of people regularly subject themselves to this risk. What causes this widespread problem? Modern diets lacking fiber top the list. Processed foods, inadequate water intake, and sedentary lifestyles all contribute to sluggish bowel movements. Medications add another layer. Opioid painkillers, certain antidepressants, blood pressure medications, and iron supplements can all cause significant constipation. Medical conditions like irritable bowel syndrome, hypothyroidism, diabetes, and neurological disorders can slow intestinal transit times. As people age, intestinal motility naturally decreases. Ignoring the urge to go, something many people do at work or in public places, trains the bowel to become less responsive over time. The psychological aspect matters too. Anxiety and depression affect gut function through the gut-brain axis. Stress hormones can literally slow down your digestive system. Some people develop bathroom anxiety, especially in public restrooms, which leads to withholding and eventual constipation. When constipation becomes severe, a condition called fecal impaction can develop. This is when hardened stool gets stuck and can't be passed naturally. People with impactions sometimes strain for extended periods, creating prolonged cardiovascular stress that can have deadly consequences. You shouldn't ignore your body usually sends signals before something catastrophic happens. Chest pain or pressure during bowel movements is an obvious red flag that should never be dismissed as normal. If you feel like there's an elephant sitting on your chest while you're on the toilet, that's your heart telling you it's struggling. Dizziness, lightheadedness, or near-fainting episodes during or after bathroom visits indicate your blood pressure is dropping too low or your heart rate is becoming erratic. Some people brush this off, especially if they have experienced it before without serious consequences. That's a mistake. Each episode could be the one that goes too far. Shortness of breath during straining means your cardiovascular system can't keep up with the demands you're placing on it. Sweating profusely, feeling nauseous, or experiencing arm, jaw, or back pain while straining are classic heart attack symptoms that require immediate medical attention. Vision changes, including seeing spots or temporary blindness, suggest blood pressure spikes are affecting the blood vessels in your eyes and possibly your brain. Severe headaches that come on suddenly during straining could indicate dangerous blood pressure elevations or even a bleeding vessel in your brain. If you consistently need to strain hard to have a bowel movement, that's a warning sign in itself. Your body isn't supposed to require Herculean effort for this basic function. Chronic straining damages more than just your cardiovascular system. It can cause hemorrhoids, anal fissures, and pelvic floor dysfunction. The single most effective prevention strategy is addressing constipation before it becomes a problem. Fiber is your digestive system's best friend. Adults need about 25 to 35 grams daily, but most people get less than half that amount. Fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and legumes should form the foundation of your diet if you want smooth bathroom experiences. Hydration matters more than most people realize. Water softens stool and helps move it through your intestines. Aim for at least 8 glasses daily, more if you're active or in hot climates. Coffee and tea don't count. Caffeine acts as a diuretic, potentially working against you. Regular physical activity stimulates intestinal contractions. Even a 30-minute daily walk can make a significant difference in bowel regularity. Exercise also benefits your cardiovascular health, providing a double layer of protection against toilet-related incidents. Don't resist the urge when it comes. Your bowel operates on a reflex system, and ignoring signals weakens that reflex over time. When you feel the urge, find a bathroom within a reasonable time frame. Your schedule isn't more important than your health. Proper toilet positioning can reduce the need for straining. Using a footstool to elevate your knees above your hips creates a more natural angle for elimination. This isn't just marketing hype. The squatting position really does align your anatomy better for easier passage. If lifestyle changes aren't enough, Talk to your doctor about stool softeners, fiber supplements, or gentle laxatives. Many people suffer unnecessarily because they're embarrassed to discuss bathroom issues. Medical professionals deal with this constantly. There's nothing they haven't heard. For those with known heart conditions, managing the underlying disease is crucial. Take prescribed medications consistently, attend follow-up appointments, and discuss any new symptoms with your cardiologist. If you have severe cardiovascular disease, your doctor might recommend specific strategies for minimizing strain during bowel movements. Physicians have a term for people who suffer cardiac events on toilets: code browns. It's dark humor, but it reflects how common these incidents are in hospital emergency departments. Paramedics regularly respond to calls where they find patients who've collapsed in bathrooms. Cardiologists recognize toilet-related cardiac events as a distinct phenomenon. Research has shown that the incidence of sudden cardiac death increases during the early morning hours, precisely when most people have their first bowel movement of the day. The combination of rising from sleep, the cardiovascular changes associated with standing, and then straining creates a particularly risky period. Autopsies of people who died during defecation often reveal significant underlying heart disease, but not always. Some victims had no diagnosed conditions, no symptoms, and no reason to suspect they were at risk. This unpredictability makes the phenomenon particularly concerning to medical professionals. Studies on the Valsalva maneuver have documented the cardiovascular changes in real time. Researchers have measured blood pressure swings of 50 points or more during straining. Heart rate can drop by 20-30 beats per minute in seconds. For healthy individuals, the body compensates quickly. For those with compromised systems, compensation fails. Gastroenterologists emphasize that chronic constipation is a medical condition deserving treatment, not just an inconvenience to be endured. The longer someone lives with difficult bowel movements, the more cumulative damage occurs to various body systems. It's worth addressing proactively. Interestingly, some cultures have lower rates of constipation-related problems, primarily those where squatting toilets remain common. The Western-style sitting toilet, while comfortable and dignified, isn't optimal for human anatomy. Some researchers argue that our bathroom fixtures contribute to widespread bowel problems and their associated complications. Toilets present hazards beyond straining-related cardiovascular events. Falls in bathrooms cause thousands of deaths annually, particularly among the elderly. The combination of hard surfaces, slippery conditions, and vulnerable positions creates numerous opportunities for serious injury. Some people have died from traumatic injuries sustained when toilet bowls shattered beneath them. While rare, poor installation or defective porcelain can lead to catastrophic failures. The resulting lacerations can sever major blood vessels, causing rapid blood loss. Electrical accidents in bathrooms claim lives every year. Hair dryers, electric shavers, and other devices that fall into water create electrocution risks. The presence of water and the often barefoot condition of bathroom users makes electrical hazards particularly deadly in this environment. Carbon monoxide poisoning from improperly vented bathroom heaters has killed people in their bathrooms. Small, enclosed spaces fill with the odorless gas quickly, and victims often lose consciousness before realizing anything is wrong. Drug overdoses frequently occur in bathrooms because people seek privacy when using substances. The confined space means delayed discovery, reducing survival chances. Many overdose deaths might have been prevented with earlier intervention. Even toilet paper has caused problems. In extremely rare cases, people have died from infections after toilet paper splinters caused injuries. More commonly, aggressive wiping causes bleeding and infections in people with compromised immune systems. The bathroom, despite being an everyday space, concentrates several risk factors: privacy that delays discovery of emergencies, hard surfaces, water, electrical outlets, medications, and the physiological stress of bodily functions. The toilet is where we're all equal and all vulnerable. It doesn't matter if you're a king, a rock star, or an ordinary person. The same physiological rules apply. What seems like a simple routine act can stress your cardiovascular system in surprising ways. Understanding the risks doesn't mean living in fear of your bathroom, but it does mean taking symptoms seriously and addressing constipation proactively. Your heart doesn't care about dignity or privacy, it just responds to the physical demands you place on it. The next time you find yourself straining, remember that sometimes the mundane can turn dangerous. Listen to your body, take care of the basics like fiber and hydration, and don't dismiss warning signs. The bathroom might be the last place you'd expect something to go wrong, but for hundreds of people every year, it becomes the location of their final moments.